Okay, this is my review of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I played it on Xbox. I basically started this game. Uh, hey, where did my gun go? Okay, I guess I lost my gun. Okay. So I started this game. I would say January. I didn't start till beginning of January. Um, it was for the most part. Are the enemies gonna respawn? I've beaten the game. Yeah, so everyone is kind of down and dead in this area because I killed all the all the enemies. Basically, I got stuck in this part here, and I tried going this way, going that way, going all different ways stealthily, sneaking up on people, taking them out. But I kept encountering a guy basically at standing right over there, and I couldn't sneak up behind him. And then there were a bunch of shooters down that way. So all these guys were ambushing me. It took me, I would say, a good 10 tries, maybe an hour, I want to say, an hour and a half. I mean, what I did was I hit up here, crouched down like this, and then just picked them off with a gun, killed someone here with a gun, and then took out the next one. But this part I got stuck on. I could not do it stealthily. I was told to do this game stealthily. That's the thing with this game. The combat, you basically, once you throw, I think if you throw a punch, you lose your weapon. Basically, there's so many ways that you lose what you're holding. The weapons do not fire intuitively. Well, not intuitively, but easily. This is spoiler alert, Noah's Ark. The Nazis said they have their little symbols up there. The Nazis put up their symbols, took over the Ark. Yeah. So basically, the story of this game, not to do spoilers, although you saw Noah's Ark, that's a bit of a spoiler. The gist of this game is you're trying to find these artifacts that are hidden across the world in these sacred sites, these tombs, these temples. So there's a lot of puzzle solving. I like the puzzle solving. That was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. I did not at all enjoy the combat. I also felt that some of the traversal was a little too quick time event, like get to an area, push X, jump here, push X to grab this. Like there wasn't it. I mean, I understand this game though. This game is an Indiana Jones movie. So if you grew up with the original Indiana Jones games, you are going to love this game. The game has a great story. The story is a lot of fun. Like I said, the combat a little bit on the annoying side. You see here, very simple. But you're supposed to do that. That's a button. You go up the elevator. I had a point where I had because you have a companion that goes through this with you and basically follows you, and then you have to like quick time. I had a point where I had to boost my companion up to an area to do something, but the companion got stuck staring at a wall, and I couldn't figure out what was supposed to happen until I watched a video. So a little buggy, but for what you expect from a Bethesda game, this is not buggy at all. This is like no bugginess compared to what a Bethesda game would basically do. So this is basically the end area. You have to get all the way down there to the tent. You initiate a quick time event, and then they give you a lot of story. They explain the story, what's going on. I will say that the cutscenes they're a bit long. I will say the credits on this, I the credits lasted me at least 30 minutes, if not more. And I was expecting something to happen afterwards, and what did happen was it brought me back to this area here, which was my last kind of save point. But it looks like the enemies that I've dispersed are finally dispersed. I don't know if I leave this area if they're going to repopulate. It said to go and find the rest of the. There's lots of like journal pages, relics, different tombs and different things to explore and to discover and do stuff with. There's a lot of optional stuff in this game. I myself am probably not going to do it because honestly, I saw the story. That's really all I wanted to do, and I wanted to get through the game. I really thought at this area here I was going to have to say, "Oh no, I cannot beat this game. I'm stuck, and I'm never going to beat this." That's how frustrated I was that like I just kept getting like downed by enemies and basically aggroing the entire room or the entire area. So I figured out to aggro them and, like I said, bring them here. Um, the game, like I said, I enjoyed the game for what it was. Once the game got in a rhythm and the puzzle stuff was there, because I like puzzle stuff. When the puzzle stuff was there, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed myself. I would definitely recommend this. I borrowed the game from a relative to start it, but then I got Game Pass again, and I'm gonna keep Game Pass because Game Pass is it's a great value for what it is. And to be honest, they're starting to make Xbox games all digital, so I'm all about that physical disc, even if it's just like a you know a boot up file, and then you have to download the whole thing. I still like to own the disc, to have a case or something. I mean, they're selling games with cases, but it's a digital code. But I don't like the fact that you can't like lend that game out to someone. I mean, Game Pass, like I said, it's still it got expensive, but it's still worth it for the money if you're gonna play like one game a month at least, like a bigger type of game. Although I did purchase a lot of games on Xbox, so I mean a lot of the Game Pass titles I own them, so I technically don't need that. But yeah, no. To basically wrap this up, if I had to give this game a score out of a 10, I would give it an 8 to an 8.5. I had the difficulty on the easiest difficulty, and luckily the um, awareness of the enemies was a bit brain dead. I was able to avoid a lot. I mean, there was one area where I was just like stealthily taking people out because when you hit them with a weapon stealthily, that weapon eventually will break after like two enemies, sometimes one enemy. So you have to constantly make sure you have items, and they made items very readily available to basically have the ability to get to things stealthily and to take out enemies and avoid, aggroing the whole room, which I also did early on in the game. And I realized at that point I probably could have just snuck around. I tried sneaking around here, it didn't work. But yeah, I would give this an 8 to an 8.5. Story, absolutely amazing. I believe it is the missing Indiana Jones movie that us, older generation people have been looking for since The Last Crusade. It was great. Combat, I mean, kind of for what it was, the fact that they were influencing you to go stealth. It was okay. It was good. The traversal used the whip to kind of climb stuff and to swing on stuff. I rarely use the whip in combat, just because the whip used an action item. Look, see, I'll show you. So I have an action on the bottom, and if I use my whip, see it, it does that, and then I'm out of actions. It comes back pretty fast, but I mean, enemies were usually shooting at me before I could even get my whip out. Once you get shot, you lose like a lot of your health. Yeah. So yeah, this review has gone on longer than I wanted to. I'm going to say I am the Casual Noob Gamer on Twitch, which is where I'm recording this. I'm going to transfer the VOD over to YouTube and then schedule it to release on Sundays. I'm trying to release reviews on Sundays. I'm not sure the exact time I'm going to do, maybe like 4 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern or 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9 p.m. Eastern. Um, like, subscribe, comment if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching this on Twitch, please give me a follow. I will not save this video on Twitch because Twitch is now putting a limit on how much you could save. And like I said, my reviews, I want them to live on YouTube. So, yeah, thank you. Have a good one and have a great day.